Welcome everybody to Crypto Rosetta. My name is Savage. Today we're going to be having a look at Render. So let's get into it and see what we think is going on here. Now, the primary way that I was talking about this in previous videos was looking at the fact that this could be 1, 2, another 1, 2, and another 1, 2 here, and finally another 1, 2. Now, the idea here would be that we're extending out by building a series of 1s and 2s in the beginning of this move, and what we are looking for is further confirmation to the upside here. We have hit this 1618 here of this $8.65, and the yellow 1.618 has also been hit here at this 1407. Now what this would then mean is that internally here we have this as 1, 2. Now there's a couple of ways of counting this move, and we're going to go over a couple of different ideas here. Now if we count this as 1, 2, this is our third wave, fourth wave, and actually we've completed our third wave here, which would be this blue third wave. What we would then be anticipating is the potential to actually see price come back down here, typically between this 784 to this 415. Now there is a possibility internally here that we could still see one more high before we see this bigger retracement to the downside, or alternatively we could also still look to just extend to the upside. So we're going to go over a couple of those different ideas later on in the video. Now within this, what you'd be looking for is an additional fourth wave down to this 784 to this 415 in 3 waves, seeing an additional push to the upside here towards this 2717. And then what this would then mean is we'd continue to see price looking to hold the previous fourth wave, have 5 waves up, hold the previous fourth wave, have 5 waves up, and just look to continue to grind to the upside here. What we'd then be looking for is more confirmation within the wave counts that we're coming towards an end, but this could be looking to push us up quite substantially higher without seeing a deeper retracement. Now we don't have a lot of price history here, so we need to just be open to a couple of different interpretations of this. Now what the other bullish way I'm looking at this is that internally here, what we actually have is a diagonal pattern where we look at this as our wave 1 into this high here. And then what we are looking for is the possibility of seeing a continuation up here in an additional 1, 2, and then we're looking for this third wave to push up here directly. Now, the problem that I have within looking at this idea of this being a wave 1 and then looking at this internally is we are quite far away from this 1.618 here of this 3370, and it would mean that somewhere within here there would potentially be extension that is not apparent at the moment. But what we'd be looking for here with this idea is to see a much shallower fourth wave, where what we'd be looking for is basically a 3-wave pattern to the downside. 1008 to this 696 is going to be a common target area. I want to see 3 waves down, holding this previous fourth wave preferably, and then looking to see this fifth wave to the upside, where we could see this 1869 to this 1564 as a possible target area. The problem is that if we look at this in this way and we fail to achieve this 1618, we need to be very careful of the bearish scenario here, where we could just have this as A, B, C, and then we would need to be looking out for the possibility that if we start to develop a 5-wave move down, we could actually look to come back down and break these lows. We're going to go over that as the last option that we talk about within the video, so make sure you stay tuned for that. Now, the key thing is here, I'd want to see 5594 get hit for this, where we would be saying that this is 1, 2, 3, and that would be our third wave target. So if we do continue to see extension within this wave and we look to push up towards this 5594, then what we would be looking for is an additional fourth and a fifth wave, which, depending on how deep that comes, potentially could be looking to bring us back into one of the previous fourth waves here. We could be looking for $132 to $78 as a possible target, but it'll become clearer once we have a bit more structure to work with. So that's what I'm currently looking for at the moment. We're going to go over the lower time frame counts in a second, but what I want to see here is whether we are looking to progress directly up here or whether we're going to see a bigger retracement first. Now, if we are looking at the possibility of seeing a direct extension, this is also a possibility, where what we have here is instead of this being 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, we could get this become 1, 2, and then we have an additional 1 and a 2 here. Now, this would then mean that possibly what we could look to do is actually invalidate this idea of the additional fourth wave by crossing this wave high here of this wave 1, which would be $5.31. If we do see price come back down in a deeper retracement that holds this $4.56, this would actually align better with getting pushed up into that higher region here, where we're looking for that 1.618 that we talked about within this count, where we're looking for this 5594. because what this would then mean is that internally here we have this as 1, 2, we're going to get another 1 and a 2, we're going to get 3, 4, and 5, looking to push us up, potentially up towards $132 to this $95 region, before seeing a bit of a cool down period, and then an additional push up, which could look to push towards this 244 to this 147 level. So because of this, I'm keeping an eye on this. Invalidation of this would come by crossing this $3.39, and ideally within this, what I would like to see here is to see a bit of a deeper retracement, at least towards this this 382 level here of this $8. If we do look at, you know, possible further targets to the downside between this 382 and this 50%, we do have a bit of confidence with retesting these highs over here. And then, you know, lower down here at the 618 would be looking to bring us down into some of these lower levels. So that would be looking at this as an extension. So that's what I'm going to be keeping an eye on. We're going to go over the lower time frame stuff over here in a second, but I just want to talk about one more time about this idea of the bigger bearish scenario, where what we could have here is that this is just an A wave and we just get this as 3 waves up, and then we start to develop 5 wave moves to the downside. If we do see something like this, we need to be very careful, because any kind of a 3 wave move that fails to take this high could then mean that we have this as an ABC, and we're going to start to see price looking to come back down into some of these more local lower levels that we've got here. Or alternatively, if this becomes a 5 wave down, we get 3 waves up, and then we get a bigger third wave which breaks that 1618, we could be looking for these lower target areas here. Now, as a truncation in this, as a running flat, I'd be looking towards this 1-to-1 level. The 0.618 is a very rare target, but if we do look at the most common zone, it's going to be lower down here between this 44 cents and this 12 cents. So if we do start to see impulsive structure down, we need to just be very careful with what this is. It is possible it could just become a 3 wave move and then we look to push back up, but if it starts to become a bigger 5 wave pattern, this could align with the most bearish scenario here. So we're going to come in more locally here, and we're going to talk about what's going on in this top end of this move here. So what I'm looking for within this, where we could still be looking for a 5th wave here, where we could be looking for this 1869 to this 1564 as a possible target. And then if that is the case, we have come down to the minimum requirement here of this $10. So I'm keeping an eye on this level to see whether we're going to start to see some impulsive price structure developing to the upside. At the moment, there is not a lot of evidence of this. Looking at the structure over here, it is very corrective looking at the moment. The only way I could see this potentially becoming a bigger 5 wave move would be we'd have to hold this 1043, and we're really right in that zone we'd want to see price turn around from. And the way I'd be looking at this is basically that we have this as 1, 2 here. We look at this as another 1, looking at this as a flat correction. But now if this is a flat, what we want to see is nice strong 5 wave movements to the upside, looking to push us up towards this 1246. If we do see a move like that, then we need to be careful, because obviously this could be a potential swing failure of this high here, and we could just see price roll over. But if we do find support again above these highs, I'll be looking for that possibility of a 5th wave, which could look to push us up towards this 1288 to this 1262. If we do find this as a target, then what I will be looking for as a potential 4th wave again here would be this 1212 to this 1151, basically looking to maintain this higher level of structure. If we start to lose 1151, the probability becomes less likely that we're going to see this continuation in the 5th. And then what we'd be looking for is possibly a move up here towards this 1337 to this 1289. If we do see a move up into this level, what I would be looking for confirmation that this is actually going to continue to progress to the upside would be for price to hold above this zone here of this 1087 to this 1164. Now, it is possible we could get a shallower retracement here, but most commonly we look for this 50% to this 786. And if we do get a shallower retracement, I'll be keeping an eye on this previous 4th wave if we do actually continue to develop this in this way to the upside as an impulse. Now, if we do see something like this, what I would be looking for as a possible target, if we're going to get a bigger impulse here, where this is 1, we look at this as 2. Now I've taken this off the 0.618, would be this 1718 as a possible target to the upside. Once again, if I overlay this idea of a 5th wave, we can see here that this would push us up into this range, and then I'd be looking to see what the internals are suggesting at that point, but it'd be looking for this higher target box. So that's why I'm looking for this possibility of the fifth wave starting. We do need to, however, be careful because there is still a possibility here that this move could actually complete into this high here, and that we have this is an A wave, this is a B wave, and we're still looking for the C wave down, where this is A, B, and C. 1-to-1 target off of our current high that we've got over here would actually be this 874 to this 815 as a possible zone that we could see this travel to. This would align with coming back and to retesting the top end of this move here. If we start to move below this 1.618 here of this $7.28, we need to be very careful that this isn't becoming a bigger impulse where I could be potentially counting this wrong, because I'm looking at this possibly as a triangle here. If this isn't a triangle, it could just be a W, X, and a Y, where we see price look to actually push back up here towards this 1235 level, which would align with retesting this A wave, where we see this as bigger W, and X, and a Y. The target would be 1251 at the 1-to-1 level. If we do look to push up slightly higher, 1298. But if I'm counting this wrong, and rather what we have internally here is that this is actually a 5-wave move here, and then we have this as a wave 2. We have some kind of a diagonal pattern in here as another 1 and a 2, and we fail to take this A wave high. If we start to see price looking to push down past this level of the 728, this could then align with a bigger impulse to the downside, where this is 1, 2. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We hit this level, then we get another 4th and a 5th. And then that would potentially mean that this whole move becomes an A wave, and we've got a bigger retracement to come after a slight move back to the upside. Okay, so I'm going to leave the video there. I hope you found it useful. If you did, please smash the like button, hit that subscribe button if you haven't already, turn on those bell notifications so you never miss a video. Leave us some feedback down below, and also in the description you'll find links to the Discord. Come check it out, it's free to join. Everyone have a great day. We'll see you in the next one. Take care.